Top of the morning, everybody. Tired Metalhead Weatherman here. Warning definitely seems to be the theme as of late because, well, we got this going on here. We have this slight risk in play here. We have an overnight and really early morning severe weather threat from what I'm seeing here. Storms can fire earlier into the overnight hours, but definitely between, I think, probably 2 and 4 might be peak time. We'll see how this plays out. Still a little bit of uncertainty with this here, but it does seem very likely we will have severe weather, and possibly in the form of tornadoes, water spouts, and also damaging winds. Sure, you guys are hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, especially if you are from Florida, and also hit that share button as well, because some people may not really see this one coming. This might be the little storm that could, or it could be nothing at all. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our current assessment of the slight risk that we have right now. So it stretches all the way from Jacksonville all the way down to Miami, but in particular, I have a lot of interest towards the western coast of Florida. I think that's when the tornado threat might be highest, but inland, we can't rule it out either. Florida setups are often really sketchy, and it usually isn't till the last minute where we really have a good read on what exactly will happen. So that being said, even if you're on the eastern part of the peninsula towards, like, let's say Jacksonville, Orlando, Melbourne, Miami, keep an eye out as well. Also, can't disinclude areas like Clearwater, Largo, Gainesville, St. Petersburg, and Palm Harbor as well. Storms will be mainly in the morning. By the time we get into the afternoon, a lot of this will be clearing out, and then the following day we'll have to look out for areas such as North Carolina and also parts of northern South Carolina, just north of Charleston, all the way towards Wilmington and areas further north, maybe even towards the Cape. But that being said, let's go ahead and look at the kinematics here. It's a quick little check down here. We already kind of know the deal at this point. So storm system forms up later in the evening. Shortwave really starts to ramp up by the time we get towards the overnight hours. I think by 4 o'clock this really starts to make itself known. It's not quite as impressive as what I saw yesterday though. But this low actually ends up taking a little bit of a jog to the north here in comparison to what we were seeing yesterday. So this is what I was talking about, saying that there's still a lot of uncertainty with this kind of a liquid-like situation. Things often do change. I mean, this is a calling card of winter, but this is also a calling card for Florida sphere setups. Usually something will either end up lagging back, or the low pressure or lifting mechanism, whatever you may, will end up moving in a slightly different direction at the last minute. So could see a little bit of a shift of the threat further up to the north here, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that, but we'll see what happens there. We look at the 700 millibar, we'll be able to see our shortwave a little bit better, and definitely from what I can see here, if my computer doesn't freeze, there we go, we're back. Kind of. But for the looks of it here, we're kind of seeing a weaker shortwave with this as well. But also there's mid-level low has really begun to ramp up here in comparison to what I was seeing yesterday. So like I said, a lot of moving parts here. So by the next run we could actually see this go the other way again, but I'm pretty confident that this might be the final look. We'll have to check this afternoon. I'll have another video up then, and then, well, maybe against my better judgment, but we're gonna go live. So I don't know what time yet, but that's gonna be another thing to deal with there. But overnight stream if anyone's interested. Looking at the low level jet, by the way, while I deviate off topic, low level jet's pretty strong across the board here. So the concern might be for a couple of tornadoes. Maybe I wouldn't rule out a strong one, but I'm not too optimistic. And here's the thing, when you look at it from the low level perspective, the timing is slightly different actually. I mean, by the time we get to 12Z, it still ends up going towards Georgia, but it's interesting how, because when you look at it from the mid to upper levels, it looked like it was a little further ahead here. So that's a little bit of, I find that somewhat amusing and also very interesting. But a lot of low level energy with this, and this also is what's going to become the setup for tomorrow afternoon severe threat for the Carolinas. Mainly think at this point the threat will be damaging winds, but you can't rule out a tornado either. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures here. No real surprise that we're going to be pretty warm in the overnight hours, still in the 60s and 70s. With that moisture going to be advecting in from the Gulf here, it's going to bring warm air along with it. No real surprise to be seeing that, and we'll even verify it for you here. Because here you go seeing that moisture surge right around the evening hours. This is just after 8 o'clock. And you continue to see it as we get later into the evening. Like I said, it really seems like about somewhere between 2 to 4 where the parameters become a little bit better for tornadic development. It really is going to depend on the mode of the storms. If the storms go linear, I'm not going to be so confident in that threat. I think damaging winds will probably take over. But if we get anything discrete, oh boy. And like I said, there's not a lot of lift, but there's a lot of convection. So I don't know. It's going to be, like I said, one of those nowcast type situations. So here is one key element to look at, and that's going to be instability. And look at the time where the instability starts to really pick up on shore here, where we're getting above 1,000 joules. It's right around what would be 4 o'clock. So basically what you would do with the Z here simply is subtract it by 4 hours, and you have Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. So basically 4 o'clock is when I would be watching the most, if anything, but a lot of people will be sleeping. So I am a little concerned with this. Florida is actually pretty notorious for nocturnal tornadoes as well around these parts. So this is us looking at the surface cape. And here's us evaluating the strong tornado threat here. Like I said, I don't expect to see any super high values, but if you see a value above a 3 or 4, don't panic. It just means that some parameters are in place, but it doesn't guarantee anything at all. So here we are going into that time frame that we were discussing. And like I said, really nothing too high in the value range here. About maybe a 2 towards the West Florida coast here. The West Florida panhandle, I should say. And then by the time we go offshore, it's out of here. By the time we go to the other side, I should say, the values are pretty much not even there. And then pretty much it'll be the same thing for tomorrow. So nothing really to be concerned with there. Real question, of course, it's going to be the timing. Showers and storms are going to be heading into the panhandle early in the day. Or not the panhandle, but the peninsula earlier in the day. I cannot speak. And really the stronger stuff isn't going to kick in until about maybe 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock. And then, like I said, it's these that I'm watching right here. These little these little pop-up areas of convection here. If any of these can manage to stay discrete and mature, we could have something on our hands here. But it's still very questionable as to whether or not this will go beyond that. And I think this is a big reason why the enhanced risk is an issue. Also make note of some of the shapes of these little cells here. Like, kinematically speaking, the environment's pretty ripe for tornadoes. Thermodynamically, it doesn't look horrible, but it's lift that really seems to be the issue here. But if you see a shape like that, that's a tell right there. It almost has that that eagle look to it. And then it has a little kidney bean as well. So this could be potential. This has potential. And here's another one right here doing a similar thing here. So we have to keep an eye on cells like this. I'll be watching the model run throughout the day. So we'll have to see. Like I said, we'll really just have to see how things evolve from this point. But anyway, a little short video for you guys. A little update, so to speak. Like I said, we'll take a look at the long range forecast a little later this evening, and then we'll probably be back on to do some overnight live streaming here. Appreciate you all for being here, though. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. You're going to get back to the Weather Nerd 101 list whenever things calm down, so look forward to those videos. But with all that being said, see you soon. It's Metalhead Weatherman signing off for now.